Y'all, the Hollywood tea is absolutely scalding today, and we need to talk about it. Jennifer Garner has reportedly had enough of Blake Lively's perfect girl image and is allegedly calling her out for what she really is, a serial homewrecker. That's right, America's sweetheart Jen Garner is rumored to have receipts about Blake allegedly getting way too close to her then-husband Ben Affleck. And fans are saying this is the tea they've been waiting for. And trust me, Jennifer Garner isn't the only one with stories to tell. According to insiders, Scarlett Johansson and even other A-listers have hinted at having their own Blake Lively drama. Apparently, Hollywood has been whispering about this for years. And now, all those whispers are turning into headlines. So grab your popcorn because we're spilling everything today, from Jennifer's rumored beef with Blake to the timeline of when things allegedly went down, and even the Scarlett Johansson drama that might explain why Blake has been so polarizing behind the scenes. Let's start with the biggest bombshell. Multiple sources have claimed that Jennifer Garner has allegedly been holding on to some very real resentment toward Blake Lively for years, and it all goes back to 2010. When Blake starred alongside Ben in The Town. At that point, Ben and Jen were one of Hollywood's most beloved power couples. They had 3 kids together and were coming up on their 5th wedding anniversary, living what looked like the perfect family life. But insiders say things were already strained behind the scenes. And the casting of 23-year-old Blake as Ben's on-screen love interest reportedly didn't help. And honestly, can you blame Jennifer for feeling a little suspicious? Ben wasn't just acting in The Town, he was also directing and writing it, which means he was the one who specifically wrote several intimate scenes for himself and Blake. The two of them had undeniable chemistry on screen, but fans, reporters, and even critics noticed that their chemistry didn't stop when the cameras stopped rolling. During the press tour for the movie, people pointed out that Ben and Blake were allegedly flirting during interviews, exchanging looks, and generally acting way too close for comfort. Then, just to make the timing look even messier, Blake suddenly split with her long-term boyfriend Penn Badgley right around the time she wrapped filming with Ben. Coincidence? Some fans didn't think so, and here's where it gets even messier. Because this wasn't the first time cheating rumors had followed Ben. In fact, some fans still remember that Ben and Jen's romance reportedly started while he was engaged to Jennifer Lopez back in the early 2000s. The two of them met on the set of Daredevil, and within months, Ben had ended his engagement to J. Lo and started dating Jen Garner. As the saying goes, how you get him is how you lose him. And some people believe that came full circle when Blake Lively entered the picture. According to insiders, Jen tried to keep the marriage together for the sake of their kids, but the tension was growing. One of the biggest alleged confirmations that Jen didn't trust Blake came in 2014, when Ben was offered a project that would have put him in close contact with Ryan Reynolds. According to sources, Jennifer allegedly told Ben to turn the role down specifically because she didn't want to risk being around Blake again. Whether or not that's true, what we do know is that the marriage between Ben and Jen eventually collapsed. And while Blake moved on first to Leonardo DiCaprio and later to Ryan Reynolds, the damage to Ben and Jen's relationship was reportedly already done. Ben spiraled into more reckless behavior, leading to even more cheating rumors, including the infamous nanny scandal, before their divorce was finalized in 2018. Even now, fans have noticed that Jennifer seems to go out of her way to avoid crossing paths with Blake. When she worked with Ryan Reynolds on the Adam Project, and later reprised her role as Elektra in Deadpool and Wolverine, many pointed out that Jen skipped press events where Blake might be present. The tension between them seems to run that deep. But wait, we're not done yet. Because Jennifer Garner isn't the only A-lister who has reportedly had a problem with Blake Lively. If you thought the Ben Affleck situation was messy, you need to hear about what allegedly went down between Blake and Scarlett Johansson. ScarJo and Ryan Reynolds were Hollywood's golden couple when they tied the knot in 2008. But by late 2010, their marriage was over, and many tabloids linked the split to Blake Lively, who had just starred alongside Ryan in Green Lantern. Rumors of an on-set romance spread quickly, and before long, Ryan and Blake were officially together, making fans wonder if there was some overlap. So when you put all of this together, Jennifer Garner's alleged warnings about Blake, Scarlett Johansson's marriage falling apart right when Blake entered Ryan's life, and the years of quiet shade from Jen, it paints a pretty dramatic picture. Is Blake Lively really Hollywood's serial homewrecker? Or is this just another case of tabloids blowing things out of proportion and pitting women against each other? Whatever the truth is, the fact that these rumors won't die down even after a decade means there might be more to the story than anyone is admitting.
was hard not to love the movie because you guys are so beautiful to watch that I was just like,
well, hello.
Jennifer Garner has allegedly had enough of Blake Lively's carefully polished America's sweetheart image, and fans are now convinced she's been quietly warning everyone in Hollywood about her for years. And with Blake's ongoing legal feud with Justin Baldoni over, it ends with us turning into a PR disaster. Those warnings are suddenly hitting way harder. This feud has reopened some very old wounds, dragging back all the messy rumors that have followed Blake since her early days in Hollywood. It all goes back to 2010, when Ben Affleck cast Blake as his love interest in The Town, personally writing and directing several of the most intimate scenes. And people on set claimed their flirty energy felt way too real. Around that same time, Blake suddenly broke up with her longtime boyfriend, Penn Badgley, which many saw as proof that something happened behind the scenes. Jennifer Garner, who was married to Ben and raising 3 kids at the time, reportedly saw Blake as a threat to her marriage and never truly forgave her for crossing that line. Insiders even claim Jennifer set a hard boundary after that. She didn't want Ben working with Ryan Reynolds just to avoid running into Blake. And years later, when Jennifer and Ryan worked together on the Adam Project and now Deadpool and Wolverine, fans noticed Jennifer never once acknowledged Blake, even when she was being tagged in posts or featured in press events. But Jennifer isn't the only one with alleged history with Blake. Scarlett Johansson reportedly felt completely blindsided when Blake and Ryan's relationship began on the set of Green Lantern, with crew members saying Ryan and Blake were disappearing together during filming, and Scarlett being so upset that she skipped the movie's premiere altogether. Just a month later, Scarlett and Ryan publicly announced their divorce, and many believe that was no coincidence. And that's not all. Blake has also been accused of throwing shade at actual royalty when she mocked Kate Middleton during the height of the princess's Photoshop scandal, posting a heavily edited picture of herself with a sarcastic caption to promote her Betty Buzz drinks. Something that fans found deeply inappropriate given Kate was recovering from major surgery at the time and under intense public scrutiny. Beyond her personal life, Blake's reputation on set has also been questioned for years. Gossip Girl crew members claim she and Leighton Meester were never close, despite playing best friends. Penn Badgley has subtly shaded her for years by praising all his other co-stars while never mentioning her. Henry Golding reportedly found her controlling on the set of A Simple Favor and said production would be paused just so she could redo scenes where she didn't like how she looked. And Anna Kendrick allegedly avoided press events with Blake completely because of how difficult she found her. Even Leonardo DiCaprio, Hollywood's most eligible bachelor, couldn't handle Blake's alleged intensity, ending their relationship after just a few months and reportedly finding her behavior overbearing, including her habit of texting him photos of a Barbie doll as an inside joke, something fans have called cringe in hindsight. All of this paints a picture of someone who may have spent years stepping over people to protect her image, and now that image might finally be collapsing in real time. Jennifer Garner, meanwhile, seems to be thriving. She's back in the spotlight with Deadpool and Wolverine, in a happy long-term relationship with John Miller, and is widely praised for her grace and maturity, a stark contrast to the messy headlines now surrounding Blake with Hollywood insiders and fans suddenly speaking out about years of alleged bad behavior. Blake's reputation is hanging by a thread, and many people are wondering if she'll ever own up to her actions or keep playing the victim while her public image continues to unravel. The question now is whether this is the beginning of Blake Lively's full Hollywood downfall, or if she somehow find a way to spin this and hold on to her perfect girl next door branding one last time.